Assalamualaikum. We will now be discussing the indirect modes and its characteristics and significance, and also the difference between direct modes and indirect modes. Indirect modes in Islamic finance. Indirect modes refer to financial structures and transactions that do not involve direct ownership or partnership in an underlying asset or business. Instead, these modes are characterized by the sale, lease, or contracting of assets, goods, or services. The profit is often predetermined and agreed upon in advance, distinguishing these modes from direct modes that emphasizes profit and loss sharing. The characteristics and significance of the indirect modes in Islamic finance perspective, such as murabaha, ististaa, salam, and ijira, possess distinct characteristics that differentiate them from direct modes like mudarabahan, musharaka, and understanding these characteristics and their significance is crucial, especially for the practitioners, scholars, and users of Islamic finance instruments.
Good day everyone. I am Nurnaharah Pundogar and I will be discussing the participatory models with an example from home finance. Participatory models involve individuals or groups collaborating and actively engaging in decision-making processes, often to address a common concern or achieve a particular goal. In the in the context of home finance, participatory model can take various forms, such as community-based initiatives, cooperative housing, or joint ownership structures. So, a housing cooperative is a form of joint ownership where a group of individuals or families collectively owns and manages residential property. That is one of the example of participatory model. So here is how a housing cooperative might work in the context of home finance. In terms of formation, a group of individuals or families, often with similar housing needs or shared interests, come together to form a housing cooperative. They contribute funds collectively to purchase land or existing properties to create affordable housing options. So, instead of individual ownership, members hold shares or memberships in the cooperative. Next is the ownership and decision making. Members of the cooperative collectively own shares in the property rather than owning individual units. Decisions regarding the property, including financial decisions, are made democratically through regular meetings where each member has a vote. This participatory decision-making process can involve budgeting planning, determining maintenance schedules, selecting contractors, and setting rules and policies for the cooperative. So decisions related to budget allocation, major expenses, ensures that all members have a voice in financial matters. And last is the financing. So in terms of financing, members contribute financially to the cooperative through membership fees. So monthly housing charges which cover expenses like the mortgage payments, maintenance, and utilities. And sometimes through loans secured by the cooperative itself. That's why financing options can also include external loans or grants. So what are its benefits? First is affordability. By pooling resources, members can often access more affordable housing options compared to traditional home ownership. Next is community engagement. So members have a say in how the cooperative operates, fostering a sense of community and shared responsibility. And last is the shared costs. Expenses like maintenance, repairs, and property improvements are shared among members, reducing individual financial burdens. So the burden of maintaining the property is distributed among all members. This Shared responsibility ensures that necessary maintenance and repairs are addressed promptly and fairly. And the challenges. First is the consensus building. Decision making can sometimes be time consuming as it requires consensus among members. And lastly, the responsibility and commitment. Members need to actively participate and contribute to the cooperative functioning. That's why addressing these challenges requires active participation, effective communication, and a strong commitment from all cooperative members. Establishing clear rules, transparent governance structures, and open communication channels can help mitigate many of these difficulties in housing cooperatives.
Hello everyone, I'm Magalasin Hanin and I'm going to talk about the hire purchase concept and leasing or ijara. Although it is more common in Pakistan, the hire purchase concept is a major variation of leasing that is used worldwide. In this type of financing, the client who is buying an asset has to know three things. And first, how much the asset is going for or the asset's price. Second, how much the bank is making of that amount or that bank's profit margin at that price and how much rent they'll have to pay. So the customers will become the legal owner of the asset once all payments, including principal, profit, and rental, have been made for the agreed upon period. An earlier statement from the Islamic Fighting Academy of the Organization for Islamic Cooperation warned against using the hire purchase principle without careful consideration of the terms governing the asset's return to its owner, purchase at the end of the contract, extension of the lease term, termination of the lease, and etc. Leasing or ijara. So Islamic finance frequently makes use of indirect financing methods like leasing or ijara. In an Islamic lease or rental agreement called ijara, the owner of an object gives the lessee or the user the right to use it in exchange for regular lease payments. So the lessor gives the item as property during the lease term. For example, businesses can lease machines or vehicles through an ijara arrangement and pay a certain amount each month to use the assets for a set amount of time.
Hello, my name is Angelo M. Orit, and I'll be discussing about the salam and its usage. So first, we need to define a basic concept of salam. So, sellers agrees to supply specific goods to buy the buyer at a future date in exchange of an advance price fully paid at spot. So, price is in cash, but the supply of goods is deferred. So, let's say for example, if A has purchased from B a 1,000 bags of wheat by way of salam to be delivered on December 31. So A can contract a parallel salam with C to deliver to him a 1,000 bags of wheat on December 31. So next, let's discuss about the benefits of salam. So in buyer's perspective, he will get the commodity at a price below the market price and have no fear of price rise in future. So in seller's perspective, first, meet the needs of money to grow their crops and to feed their family up to the time of harvest. So second one is meet the needs of working capital, and the last one is meet the needs of liquidity problem. So next, let's discuss about the process flow of a salam transaction. So the client who purchased goods in parallel salam contract purchases the goods from the Islamic bank by paying in full at spot. The second one is period in salam contract with client where Islamic bank is the buyer longer than the contract period of parallel salam. Islamic bank gets delivery from the client of the first salam contract as a buyer and deliver the goods to the client of the parallel salam contract. And the last one is difference in price. Both salam contract is the profit for the bank. Application of Salam in Islamic finance. So, for example, corporate financing such as industrial raw material, agricultural crop financing, and alternate for bill discounting and trade finance. Application of Tawarruk in Islamic banking. In diagram 1, it shows the trend and composition of Tawarruk and other Sharia contracts. Tawarruk entails a two separate sale and purchase transactions of commodities, so involving for four parties, an Islamic bank is customer and two commodity supplier. So the combination of transactions serves to create a debt obligation on the part of counterparty that purchase the commodity on deferred basis at an agreed price. In diagram 2, it shows a wide range of commodities it used in Tawarrok transactions. This includes a crude palm oil, a plastic resin or metals, rubber, crude oil, and digital commodities, which are sourced of domestically or globally. So in diagram 3, the trading of these commodities is managed by Islamic banks through the use of commodity brokers and exchange.